Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to take you through a full pull session at home. It's going to be a bit more of an in-depth video, this one. I'm going to be talking through all about exercise selection, why we put certain movements in certain places, and kind of a few little tips and cues for the session, the order in which we do exercise, and a few bits and bobs like that. It's going to be me talking through in the gym at home, talking through the session, and yeah, just trying to provide a little bit more insight into the way in which I train and just give you a bit of a understanding about why we do things, really. Slightly different to normal videos because we're going to just be focusing on training, really, nothing else, just a full in-depth video about the pull session, so that's back and biceps. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like and please subscribe, and I'll see you in the gym for the video. Right, so we're in for a pull session today. Firstly, doing some banded pullovers. We often start our pull days with a lat isolation exercise before our main compound, mainly due to the fact that as the workout progresses, it becomes increasingly more difficult to get your lat fully short. And what I mean by that is a full contraction in your lat. So we start with a lat isolation beforehand. Firstly, to drive some blood in there, get the back warm. Also as a bit of a psychological exercise before we do our main compound, as if you go into your first compound. If you go into a compound firstly, then you might not be like mentally ready for it yet, so it's a good way to prepare for the set. So yeah, I'll show you how we do it. So the dumbbell setup here is, if we were in the gym, we'd be using a cable and cuffs or a rope attachment for it, but obviously we haven't got that today. So we use the dumbbell and a band. The band simply just to increase the tension at the top, as there's a lot of tension at the bottom now, but when you get to the top it drops off. So the band's just there to provide that added bit of tension. It's not an amazing exercise, but at home it's the best that we've got for the lats to begin with, and just to drive some blood in there, really. So yeah, that's exercise number one. Right, so after we've done the dumbbell banded pullover, we now go into our main compound exercise, which is the RDL. We only introduced this recently into our pull days because we had it on our leg days before, but we found that it was just too demanding in terms of RDLing and squatting on the same day, a lot of lower back loading, and just too neurologically fatiguing. So we've moved it to a pull day. It gives us something to look forward to on a pull day as well, as at home we didn't have too many like taxing exercises, so yeah, we've put it on our pull day now. So with the RDL here, we are thinking about driving our hips backwards and staying in an active range. And what I mean by that is, we're going to a point sort of where if you were to push your hips back and you feel your hamstring stretching, that you just go to that point. So it should all be like one continuous motion in terms of like your back going down and your hips going out. Often you see people like almost touching the floor, but then they go into something called a passive range. So the muscle's not turned off or anything, it's just you're not actually strongest in that range. Also, sticking in your active range is going to be safer, you're less likely to injure yourself, and therefore if you're not injured, you can keep training, keep growing, keep making gains.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Test 150 and might even stick 160 on.
Right.
Or 155 maybe.
Okay. Do you want to do another feeder before you do that?
With what?
Whatever. If you're going to do 160, you might want to do
Yeah, 150 definitely.
Okay.
Mikey Joe. art attack when Nanny had a heart attack. Same time, thinking where my father at. Piss little kid, touching wings like barbers at. You know it's Scully in the Gaza at. Bro got the Scully in the Prada bag.
Come on, Max.
Said the step up, so I step up, one harder at. I can push my head back with one harder at. Big dream started with a quarterback.
Yep, stay tight.
In the field,
Up and back.
busy like a quarterback. Snitching on the gang, I've never fought at
Yes,
that.
easy.
Only
Come
thing
on.
I've ever signed was an autograph. You know my
Up, 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 up. Yeah, finish it. Okay.
Right, that's 145 for 12, so I'm 5 kilos up this week and max reps. I'm really trying to focus on bracing and keeping my shoulders back, but not like my scapula retracted, just keeping them back and depressed down. So I'm really like focusing on using that upper back tightness and not overloading the lower back, as that's something that I've had issues with in the past. But yeah, that was a good set.
Hold it. Yep, keep your back tight. Up, up, up. Yeah, again. Yeah, finish it. Nice. How many was that? 10.
Right, that's RDL's done. Did 145 for 12, and then I went up in weight to 160 and got 10 reps, which I'm really happy with. That's the most I've done in ages. I've been battling with my lower back for a while, but today it felt perfect and I felt strong, so really happy with that. Next up, we've got pull-ups, but we're doing 2 sets of regular pull-ups and then some rack chins, just because after like 2 sets of pull-ups, I kind of find that I'm just training the movement rather than the muscle. I find it difficult to contract my back fully, so the rack chins offsets that and does that job, so hopefully that'll be good. So in terms of the way our session goes, we're alternating through different angles of attack basically. So we've got the first one targeting our lats, the second's more of a horizontal, it's not really a horizontal pull, but it's not vertical obviously, and then with this we're challenging the lats fully through shoulder flexion with a neutral grip. The function of the lat is from here all the way through here, so with that neutral grip that allows us to get a complete full range of motion. So that's that. After pull-ups we've got single arm dumbbell rows, which then obviously switching between horizontal and vertical pulling. So we're doing 2 sets of pull-ups. We normally just do two sets on all exercises, but on pull-ups we're going to do 3, with the third one being this rack chin right here. The reason being for that is that it's difficult to hit failure on pull-ups. Your back doesn't fully fail, it's kind of just the movement fails, like your arms fail, just like your pulling power fails. So we're putting this one in, using D handles as well, because it allows freedom at the wrist. Like no one's really meant to be fixed into like one singular position, so the D handles allow for that rotation, allow for that natural path to pull, so it's a good way to fully fatigue the lat now. So yeah, moving on to this. You'll see with the rack pulls that we actually put our feet higher than our hips went, and that's to allow for a drop off at the top. So what I was saying at the start about getting that lat fully short is a similar principle with the pull-up. So it's very difficult. That first bit is okay, but really getting that full contraction of the lat is very difficult. So putting your feet above your hips allows for that axis of rotation to be higher up, so therefore it allows you to fully contract the lat. So moving on to a single arm dumbbell row now We've only got a 35 kg dumbbell, which is a little bit light for me, but it just means that I need to focus more on contractions, slowing the movement down, pausing in that lengthen range, pausing in the shorten range, and just making the exercise as hard as possible, really. So yeah, that'll be good. So with the dumbbell single arm row, we're using the bench to put ourselves in a more stable environment. Stability is important, and that's why personally I use machines a lot, because the more stable you are, the more accurate you can be, and therefore the more you can isolate the muscle you're intending to work. Also, we put in our front foot, our foot forward corresponding to the side we're working with, because we're trying to isolate the lat. Often you'll see people who do single arm dumbbell rows, they'll go opposite legs, and that's basically just allowing them to move more weight but not necessarily isolating the lat fully. So that's why same leg, same arm, all working in parallel with each other. So that's the back section of the workout done, and now we're moving on to some biceps. Yeah, not sure what we're doing yet. What are we doing? Hammers?
You do hammer, I do.
Yeah, so we opposite on our we train biceps 3 times a week currently, so we haven't got a lot of exercises to choose from, so we're just doing dumbbell curls, hammer curls, and a form of a preacher curl. So, and that'll be the session wrapped up. Made quite a good time today, so been a good session all in all. So I hope that gave you a little understanding about how we train, about sort of exercises we do and why we put them where, explaining about isolations before the compounds, then working from a horizontal and a neutral aspect, and then finishing with some biceps. So if you'd like to see more of these videos, I'm thinking I might go through a push session or a leg session or maybe an upper body session. If that's something you'd like to see with a bit more of the sort of not scientific approach but a bit more reasoning and thought behind it, then just let me know, drop a comment or give it a like, and I'll make another one in the future. Hopefully we'll be back in the gym then, and I can make a proper video using proper equipment and not just sort of makeshift at home. But if you have enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a subscription. Just press that little button down there, give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.